Yeah, speaking of Ryback, it's not my style to rip on other people, but I got to call out Kevin Castle a little bit here. Last week on the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show,
Big
Kevin,
fans, by the way. We are fans here, okay?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
The
a
guy,
lot of people,
they have 2.3 million viewers right
yeah,
now.
and I tend to follow, I tend to agree with Don Tony, but sometimes and a lot of people would agree with but I'm not trying to rip, but some people would agree that sometimes it seems like Kevin Castle has like some wires disconnected in his head or something. And I gotta say that there's a video that they post that was posted,
TV
and
tracks.
yeah, and of the little short of the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show, and they're saying can Ryback's career be saved? And like the first thing that Kevin Castle says is like, oh, I think you just fire him and fire Caitlyn too. I'm thinking, wait a minute, like,
Really? Did
yeah.
you just go there? Just fire him.
Now the thing is,
Just let
yeah,
him. They're no good
yeah,
anyway. Anyway, I mean, it's a waste of time. No, I mean, really, just fire him.
yeah.
Not send down to
It's
development and
like,
get a new
and
gimmick.
this
Maybe.
is this is right after he beat Chris Jericho, and it's like, wait a minute, and
Where's
after
the
he just
excuse?
took,
Probably everybody beats Chris Jericho now.
yeah, and and then of course what happens last night on Raw? He faces Daniel Bryan, but I mean, uh, he said how Ryback should be fired, and half the time I don't even know if he realize either he doesn't realize this or he's like kind of doing this like to be because he doesn't like Ryback.
Yeah.
Half the time he calls him Ryberg. If you listen to the show, I catch
Well,
it so
well,
often.
they do. I mean how Don Tony keeps calling aces and eights, aces and 0.8s, and I get that
Yeah, yeah,
because they've
I
really
understand
dragged the
that.
ratings down on TNA.
Yeah,
Then
that's more of like a rim shot joke
and
there.
and that too, and I agree with him. I think that group's stupid, fat bully
Yeah,
Ray, and
but yeah, I mean, Ryback, if anything, he's kind of been a victim of just bad booking. I mean,
well,
that's the thing. He was,
Chris Jericho even said in an interview there. He said, "Look,
yeah,
I would have had him beat Punk at Hell in a Cell and keep his winning streak going in that. Like I think
yeah. And
once
I
he
remember
lost
that
there,
was,
that's where
yeah,
any momentum he had just died pretty much."
yeah, to some degree. And towards WrestleMania, he was gaining back some momentum. But yeah, I mean, and the problem with when he lost at Hell in, when he was by default he had to face CM Punk. It's part of the problem was they didn't really have any other baby faces that they could have face him because Cena, I guess
Was hurt,
he
so
had a real injury.
yeah.
All these fake and then real injuries, but he had a legitimate injury, and then they didn't, who could they turn to, and they turned to Ryback. And yeah, I mean they had found a cheap way, or
Brad
but
Maddox,
yeah,
who's the
with
GM.
the referee low blow. But yeah, I mean so it was kind of unfortunate, and they had to end a winning. They backed himself into a corner like many people
Yeah,
said. And
but you also had that impressive world title streak going with Punk there, and that was the problem
right,
there
that's
too.
the problem. Yeah, because the big plan was obviously to have Punk and
And
Rock feud.
Rumble,
Yeah,
like that was pretty much set up.
yeah, and then eventually, Ryback and Cena were the last two guys in the Royal Rumble match. And then unfortunately, the master plan was for Punk to lose the title to Rock, and
Mm-hmm.
then for Cena to get back the title in in his
Well,
twice in a lifetime.
to finally have Cena beat the Rock. That was the whole point
Yeah,
of the storyline, pretty
yeah, and
much.
it was unfortunate because he then once you saw it all coming, and then Ryback kind of fell by the wayside again, and then but he was gaining some momentum when he teamed up with Sheamus and Big Show,
Yeah.
and then he was set to face Mark Henry, and they had him lose to Mark Henry, and then then of course they have him feud with they turn him heel, and not just heel but like a cowardly heel. And at least fortunately right now it doesn't seem like they're making him as much of a coward in recent weeks.
Yeah.
They're having him be more of the bully that they should. If they're gonna have him heel, he's a big guy. He should be more of a bully heel.
Yeah, which is
along the lines of like a Brock Lesnar,
that's pretty
bully
much what he's
heel.
doing.
That's what they, yeah,
And like I said, and I'm just throwing it out there. I think Big Show's gonna feud with the guy.
yeah, and if Big Show was supposed to return last night on Raw, well, tomorrow, technically tonight, since they're doing it, maybe that's when he'll return. Again, we won't find that out for another 6 days.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that could set up a feud between them. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess for that to work, obviously, I guess that would mean Big Show would turn heel, or I mean, he would turn face.
Yeah.
He already is heel. He would turn face for that. Ryback would, because Ryback's heel. I mean, I don't see how they do
So
like a double turn.
So we're gonna get the loving, kind
That's the
Big
thing.
Show again, who
Yeah,
shakes hands with people. Geez,
maybe.
so that promo a year ago where he said he wasn't doing this shit anymore.
That was
That
and I liked Big Show's recent heel turn too. That's the thing. But I'm not gonna. I like to watch. I like to watch and see what happens.
yeah.
I'm gonna avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
Like I normally do, anyways. So
So
yeah, that could be
so what else did
interesting, I
because I
guess.
see you have something else down here that apparently Kevin Castle
Kevin Cat, yeah.
just grilled you so bad right now.
Well, I did, yeah. I mean, it's just some things that like really. He said, RVD should change his look. And the funny thing is, Don Tony the whole time just saying, no, I don't think he should. No, he doesn't have to change his look. What's wrong
What
with
was
it?
Kevin Castle smoking that?
I don't know.
show?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I'm just putting it out here, Kevin. I know we don't get really any viewership. Pretty much.
Yeah,
I know you guys get like.
We're starting from the ground up.
I
here.
mean,
We're trying to.
and you guys really aspire there. But has Hulk Hogan ever changed his look?
Yeah,
Has Sting ever changed his look? Has Steve Austin ever changed his look? Has The Rock ever changed his look?
yeah. He was saying how
I mean,
it's like RVD's look is like 290s and it's like, well,
Stone Cold Steve
he had
Austin's
the
look.
same he had the same look throughout the 2000s and
Guess what, Kevin? Bret Hart's look is 1980s.
yeah,
Shawn Michaels' look is 1990s.
he's got, yeah, I mean,
Triple H's look is early 2000s.
yeah. I mean, if he was, and maybe if like he was, starting to get like a Paul Heyman kind of ponytail or something, then maybe
Paul Heyman's look is 1980s.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, as far as RVD can keep his same look, it's a nostalgia factor too. I mean, that's if he came back with a different look, I mean, people would. Nobody's really. I don't hear anybody else complain like, "Oh, RVD, he needs to change his look." I mean, come on, Kevin Castro. Just couple things. If people out there listen to that show and then they listen to this show,
Have the Dudley Boys ever changed their look?
yeah, I mean, yeah, and for years, I mean, Kurt Angle's essentially had the same look.
Yeah,
this
still
and that.
we get it. We got Kurt. You won a little bit gold medal in 1996. We get it. It's 2013.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, and I mean,
The Olympics might not be an Olympic sport anymore, so that shows you how much your medal actually matters now.
it's not a change. Yeah, I mean, if you're changing character, maybe a new look could be suitable. But I didn't understand I mean, I think most of us would agree that RVD's look is fine. I don't.
Yeah, it's over.
He's out there. I mean, he's out there
his
wrestling good
gimmick is that he
matches.
does these amazing kicks, pretty much, and
Yeah,
is very flexible.
extremely flexible moves.
Yeah.
Sometimes high flying frog splashes, and he's getting in the ring with new guy. Dan, Del Rio. I mean, that's not a big, but
Yeah.
he's bound to get in the matches with more interesting talent, and that the WWE has to offer. And last, the Money in the Bank match last week, and the big match with Chris Jericho. I mean, that was it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I think RVD back. He doesn't have to change his look.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.